Alright, so what you see here is the controller. Shows the bar graph there from blue, yellow, and red, red being the hot. And I can tell you how much fuel rate we're using here. I'll put that down one. So 1.6 hertz. So that's the lowest setting that you can get on this one. It means that the fuel pump, metering pump, actuates 1.6 times per second, 1.6 hertz. So, and I've just started this up 10 minutes ago. The remote control is here for it. So, and I've got that over here on the bulkhead, like that. Over here we've got the temperature inside. Outside is 15. Let me see that. There we go. Outside 15, inside 25. And right now you can hardly hear it. There's the outlet of the air, so I can swivel this around, so point the air more up or down. This is more up now. I can feel plenty of hot air coming here. There's another mod. I may just quickly show you. This is another mod I've done. It's an old IV pole clamp. And I mounted a meter or a muffin fan on here, which is speed controllable, and that helps to circulate the hot air coming out of that vent, and it sprays it into the messy cabin over here. It is speed controllable. I put a pot in here, so I can turn that down. And in the summertime when I'm cooking, this whole thing swivels around however I want it. I'm going to have to put this phone down here a minute. Tight here. So this rotates out of the way, up and down the pole. Looks a little bit like that. Okay, before I go below, I will show you the outside, what we've done outside. Show you, now you can just hear the exhaust. I'm just going to put this up here. Clip that on there like that. And I've also put these baffles in here, which will help cut down on the wind when it's coming from the stern. And they're just pieces of aluminum. I'll take this one away. And over here. So these other ones come out as well. And they're held in by plexiglass strips here that I've sawed a groove in here for this 1/8" aluminum to go. Alright, here we are at the exhaust, and that's the noise. It's not very noisy at all. There's no muffler on there. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to need a muffler. It's pretty quiet. Initially I thought that these cables here would get too hot because of the exhaust here. The exhaust is hot, but it's not that hot. And the plate here is cool. It's not even hot. Or the mounting plate. So this copper here, it's warm. So I'm probably going to have to be removing that because it's not needed. But I thought just in case. The other side, I use this diamondback aluminum, what they call diamondback, I believe. So it's kind of a polished aluminum. And so I've just put this. I just installed this. Haven't actually taken the boat out. See how much it cuts down on the engine noise coming down the well into the cockpit underneath there. So just put that on pause for a sec. Okay. We're now back in the cockpit, and I'm kind of making a shadow here. But this is how I mounted the 6-liter fuel tank, diesel or kerosene, whatever it is you're burning. I've had to modify this tank because this tank came with a bottom fitting for the fuel line, but instead I built this little gizmo here with some brass rod that I got kicking around. And I got some brass rod on Amazon. You can see the level now. I'm 3/4 full. So the burn rate at 1.6 hertz is very, very low. So this will last many, many hours. And we can work it out exactly how long it would last, because the metering pump pumps exactly 0.02 cc of fuel per click every time it clicks. So it's not very much. Okay, let's go down below and see what it looks like. Okay, I'm looking back to the connection of the vent pipe is here. Looking back here to the cabin. So to give you an idea, that's where the vent pipe is, right there, right beside the head and the companionway. This is my new, just also a new mod or addition, which is my coat rack hanger here. Goes all the way over. And the exhaust pipe goes, the vent pipe is here, connects to the Eberspacher copy Chinese diesel heater. This is my intake for fresh air for the combustion, and it goes into the fuel locker, and it's just a piece of bilge hose I've used here. This looks like a mishmash of wires, which it really is, because it also is the steering cable and all my other cables. So I've had to keep that away from the exhaust. So I've tried to see a picture here. If I get a little closer up here, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it's hard to see with all these, but it does fit, and I've kept it all pretty separate. I've wrapped the exhaust pipe with this exhaust pipe insulation. I don't know what the material is. You got to use gloves when you wet it, and use gloves when you install it. It's like fiberglass. It gets all over the place. So that's what that pipe is. Up here is the filter, a little petcock coming from the tank outside, so I can turn that on or off. I decided to add that just as a safety, in case I need to turn it off for service or whatever. And then that goes into the metering pump. And the metering pump is here. And you can see how I've got that mounted with a bulldog clip. It's self-mounted on rubber fasteners, and the whole thing is encased in neoprene. You know the stuff you use for wetsuits. That, and you can hear it clicking. This at the moment is 1.6 hertz, and this is this nylon line, which you can see it vibrates each time. It's important to use that line because of the internal diameter allows it to deliver these pulses. Occasionally you'll see bubbles here because of cavitation. It's nothing to worry about. It's perfectly normal to see those bubbles there. See some bubbles right there. It doesn't bother at all. There's bubbles all the time, and from what I understand, it's normal. All right, looking over here more now is the connection to the hull. So this is my steering cable. I didn't want to. I could have drilled the hole for the exhaust a little bit higher, but the problem is I wanted to keep this tube here. I wanted to keep that tube kind of level, or at least sloping down a little bit with no big dips in it where water could collect. So that's why it's down as far as it is. And I've got some of that Diamondback aluminum because I cut a big panel out to get the foam out to get that to that back. Fitting, which took a long time to figure out exactly where to put it. But right now I've got this thing, it's hard up against this here, and I got my hand here, so It's warm. It's definitely not hot. It's just warm. It's been running now for a while, and this fitting here is yes, that's out yet. That's very hot here. That's very hot. This outside part here, yeah, it's hot too. But by the time it gets to the outside skin, it's cooled down quite a bit. So I put another cover plate here because I made quite a jagged hole here. It's very hard to cut there because I had the steering cable in the way. I could have removed the hole, taken all that apart, I guess, but I didn't want to do that. So I used a saw skill or a Dremel tool to cut out there. And so this is just a cover to make it look not too badly. So I guess that's about all the inside workings of it. You can hear it clicking, and it's warming up the cabin quite nicely. And this sound here, you can't really hear it inside. I find that having it back here, it's greatly reduced, especially with the neoprene covering. You can see it just kind of sits there, but I can feel the vibration in my fingers here. So if that was mounted to the hull, say, it definitely would transmit throughout the whole boat. You could hear it. It's also important, even this line here should not be touching any part of the hull, because it'll transmit that vibrate, because it's quite a vibration here. I can feel it. It'll transmit that vibration right over to into the boat. Okay, I'm now inside the boat again, and you can see how the hose comes out there, and I've got it in through a smaller hole, and I'm going to fasten it now with a ring that comes with the bulkhead fitting. And this is the area where we're going to be mounting the diesel heater.